Welcome to the AU Scoop. I'm your host, Philip Dukes, aka DukesTheScoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at DukesTheScoop. And please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to become a member, go to the description tab and go at the bottom of the description. There will be a link where you'll see membership where you can go become a member. And that's just another way for you to support. You want to drop a super chat, all that's good. But today we are going to talk about the second scrimmage at Auburn. A lot of people, I know everybody's still reeling from the Final Four loss. Great season for the basketball Tigers. Bruce Pearl continuing his legacy as probably the most successful when it comes to going deep in the playoffs, tournament Auburn coach that we've had. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 Final Fours. I went to school in the Cliff. What's my man name? Cliff Ellis era. I almost forgot my dog, Cliff Ellis. My bad, Cliff. But yeah, I went to school in the Cliff Ellis era, and the most I ever saw was in the Elite Eight, 03, like with Keezy and Nate Watson and all those guys. So shout out to Marquise Daniels. But can't say enough about the resiliency of this team, and just ran out of gas. And hopefully, my man Tahad comes back. You can build a team around him. I think the moment got a little bit big, and and I know he doesn't want to leave on that note. So shout out to the basketball Tigers. But now it's back to football. So yeah, let's talk about scrimmage too. Let me grab my notes right here. So I did some calling around and talked to different sources, players, staff, just to kind of figure out what happened at the second scrimmage. And for all intents and purposes, the second scrimmage was dominated by the defense. This is probably one of a throwback to Auburn, of Auburn Springs in the past, where you would always say, oh, the defense dominated. Well, this spring has been nothing short of just like an offensive clinic. Well, the defense had a bone to pick on Saturday, and they came with it. Even some of the offensive players were a little bit mad, like not mad, but some of them were like, come on, man, y'all, the defense did a lot. Sent some blitzes, sent some different pressures, sent some different games up front, whether it be stunts or whatever, for what I'm hearing. But you got to get ready for it too. So to the defense's credit, they prepared. They wanted to go ahead and work on it, because if they're planning on being the backbone of the team, if the offense, provides the points, you still need defense in the SEC. So, but yeah, the defense won. But we can start with performances. Let's go with Jackson Arnold. Heard Jackson Arnold had another, didn't score, but had a fairly, decent performance. Nothing that you would say, oh man, he stunk it up. No, it's just they weren't getting the ball off. To be honest, like, it was hard to get the ball off. But as far as leading the first team, Jackson Arnold again was the first quarterback out in the scrimmage. And he moved the ball but did not get in the end zone. Made some good decisions as far as RPO, from what I'm understanding. So I think the thought process is very important to Coach Freeze and Coach Austin. It's the thought process, not did you score the touchdown, not did you get the first down, but what was your thoughts in reading, and what did you see? And I think that's important. I think that's what Jackson Arnold has been doing really well, is being able to speak to his decisions. He has turned the ball over this spring, but not a lot. He didn't have a turnover in the scrimmage, so that was good. From what I'm hearing, if anybody heard anything different, drop it in the comments and I'll check that out. But nobody told me he had a turnover when I asked. So that I think that bodes well, to not turn the ball over, even though the pressure was there. They weren't able to get the ball off a lot. Staying at quarterback, Deuce Knight, once again, another phenomenal day. Still, I think 11, 12 practices and ain't turned the ball over once. Actually, I got a chance to holler at Deuce a little earlier. Not about that, but just about his mental. And he's just like locked in. And he said he doesn't want to turn the ball over, for sure. I'll say that. We didn't speak specifics about the actual scrimmage, but he did let it be known. He's like, no, I ain't turning the ball over. Like, I'll throw it away. I ain't trying to turn it over. So, I mean, that's impressive for a true freshman not to throw a single pick during the spring. That's super impressive. And the streak stays alive once again. So, Deuce Knight, And we can just kick it over to the receivers. Deuce Knight did have the 2 touchdowns that were scored. One to Sam Turner once again. Sam Turner continued. Sam Turner is making this case to be in that top 4 receivers. Sam Turner once again scores on a nice ball from Deuce Knight, and the other touchdown went to Horatio Fields. Sam Turner, they say y'all also dropped one that should have been a touchdown. So, but for I think he was 6 out of out of 7 targets, he caught 6 of them, had that one drop. But this is the most important, the most impressive thing about Sam Turner. After practice, after he balled out, he was on the jug machine, like obsessed. A pro's pro. Some people feel like he's going to be one of the most prolific receivers in Auburn history by the time he's done with it. Like, he's shown a lot. And it's not just about what he's shown on the field, it's his work ethic. Chip on the shoulder, it's a 3-star. You can go back to list, and I've said it ad nauseum. You can go back and you go look at all the Zach Blackerby, shout out to Locked On Auburn, look at my stuff when I was at On 3, how often I talked about Sam Turner and the competition that he played with, and not just at Southwestern Cab, but when you look at what he was doing at Hustle Link, which is one of the premier 7-on-7 teams, where Ken Lee came from, where Jay Crawford came from, where KJ Bolden came from, and Sam Turner was a guy there. So shout out to him for continuing his impressive spring. Horatio Fields got back in the mix a little bit. Another wide receiver that I heard about was Perry Thompson. A lot of people have been asking about Perry. So far, it's only been a consistency thing with Perry. The physical tools are there. Had a really nice catch in the scrimmage where he caught a short when it got upfield. You saw the explosion, short area burst, and he can take it a distance. Like, he's a guy that you see the physical where the physical tools aren't missing. It's just a focus and concentration thing from what I'm hearing. He followed that up with a few drops and, kind of got down on himself a little bit, but he's a guy that's going to help Auburn. And as he continues to just grow as a receiver and puts it all together, you're going to see Auburn be able to use those physical tools that he has, the immense physical tools. So, and the reason that he was a 5-star at one time. So, I think Perry Thompson, as he continues to put it together, everybody's asking about Perry Thompson. And when I ask about him, they say he's got it. It's just consistency. But he's starting to turn that corner. So, Perry Thompson is someone that I would keep my eye on. But right now, Sam Turner's been a talk of spring camp in that receiver position outside of Cam and Eric Singleton, as we know. I did hear that Malcolm Simmons got a little bit banged up, so we'll monitor that. So I'm not sure the extent of the injury. I don't think it was nothing too serious, but I think he didn't finish. So just got a little bit banged up during. So, but Malcolm Simmons, I think this is the most exciting wide receiver room that we've had. I'm going to say it every time I get on here talk about the wide receivers. When you think about being able to go 1 through 8, I mean, guys after guys after guys. If Perry Thompson is as physically gifted as he is right now, could be your number 6 guy, that's insane. You think you go Cam Coleman 1, Eric Singleton 2, you can switch those out however you want to. Malcolm Simmons 3. Let's say for right now, I'm hearing that if it started today, your 4th guy would probably be Sam Turner if they go 4 wides. Sam Turner, Horatio Fields at the 5, Perry Thompson at 6. I mean, dang, bro, that's a lot. Man, we still got guys we're not even talking about. So, yeah, I think that receiver room is incredibly deep. But I did want to talk about offensive line a little bit. So you got Braden Joyner stepping in for Connor Lew. And you got Tall over there because Xavier Chaplin is still out. So not a great day for the offensive line as a whole. Mason Murphy's done okay. Not a great day, but I think it'll get better. I think this week you'll see the offensive line look to dominate. Damari Austin still continuing to be the lead guy. He looks like the back. I mean, I think before it's kind of like a 1A, 1B type deal. He's your number 1 guy. The added weight has helped him a lot, and it's consistent runs. It's 4s and 6s and 5s and 8s and 3s and 5s and 6s. Not losing yards and running behind his pads and being tough, being smart, being patient. So Damari Austin really has taken that next step, and I'm excited to see what he does in the SEC. Jeremiah Cobb, I heard, broke a big one. Didn't score, but had an explosive, and he's going to be that guy that gives you that change of pace, and maybe not as much of the between the tackles stuff that you see with DeMar, but when he gets his opportunity, it might take, like, you give him 5, he'll get you one. Like, he'll break one of those ones to. So if he gets stopped on 4, that 5th one, for what the way it's been going this spring, is he's liable to break one at any time. So you just got to get him the touches, and I think he'll be successful as change of pace back. Defensively, everybody said it was just a great day for the defense. You didn't get a ton of work in the secondary just because how fast the defensive line was getting back there. I heard that Malik Blockman had a good day. They said Keyron Crawford might have had about 3 or 4 sacks. Like, they said Keyron Crawford was going crazy. So shout out to Key Crawford, man. A guy that has an amazing story. If anybody saw the interview I had with him last year on 3, you can search that, Keyron Crawford on 3, DukesTheScoop. But such an amazing story, such an amazing guy, and someone you want to root for, and to hear him continue to take that next step, that bodes well for Auburn as a whole. And you saw him come on strong late last year, so he's continuing that progress. They said, they said he was wrecking practice. So shout out to Keyron Crawford, another guy who a lot of people around Auburn in the know are excited about, that hasn't been getting a lot of pub this spring, but that has definitely shown that he belongs, is Jared Smith. A lot of people thought it was going to be a while for him developmentally. His frame had to do a whole lot of different stuff. He's got to fill out. But Jared Smith is a guy, they say he's like with the twos, like a solid 2. Like, you feel comfortable. Like, if he has to get in the game, you feel like he can give you something. That's high praise with the line that Auburn has, where you look at the Keldrick Fox and Morris Williams and these guys, and Williams have been doing a good job too. That's another guy that they say has all the physical tools that just needs to continue to be consistent. That's Morris Williams, but yeah, Jared Smith came in with a plan to play, and he's gonna force his way onto the field. So shout out to him, man. They say he's really, really taking it seriously, not taking a rep off, and you can tell. And Auburn is not DJ Durkin ain't afraid to play freshmen, so he's another one of the freshmen that you'll possibly see playing early. Speaking of freshmen that played a lot, Elijah Melendez is another one, as they try to find what his best fit is going to be, whether it's going to be at the weak side or the Mike backer. A guy who came in probably the most physically ready of anybody when you talk about not just size-wise, but being in shape and being able to already being physically developed strength-wise. Elijah Melendez rotated a lot with Xavier Atkins again. Xavier Atkins had a heck of a day. Got home. They said he got home on his blitzes, had a couple tackles for loss. As they try to find out what their rotation is going to be, Bryce Diaz, Juice had a great day too. So they're trying to shake out that linebacker rotation. DeMarcus Riddick didn't sat out. I don't think it's anything serious, but Riddick did sit out, from what I understand. So you got 5 backers that are playing. Lil Debo, DJ Barber, the other Debo, Xavier Atkins. Woodger is your guy that you're probably going to run out first at the mic, more than likely. And you're just trying to see what you have among those other 4. But Atkins and Melendez played a lot. Also had some 4-3 looks. So that was interesting for me to hear as well. In the secondary, Eric Winters is a guy that they say, once he figures it out, he's going to be dangerous. He can run. He runs a lot better than people gave him credit for, so he's been able to play that up top safety some. I think Caleb Harris is locked in as your boundary safety. But Eric Winters, combination of Eric Winters, they've just been trying a lot of different combinations at that safety spot to find out who's going to be that post safety. But Eric Winters, the way he's been coming downhill has been impressive. They say Eric Winters is going to hit you. They say he's going to hit your ass. That's what I heard. Eric Winters is going to hit you. A lot of people thought he could have played linebacker, or he was going to grow into a linebacker, which he still could. But right now, having a guy like that learning the defense, I think Newboy and Winters are probably the future of that secondary. But as of now, said T Love, Terrence Love had another good stop against Demar in the whole a great run fit. New boy has continued to show his football IQ, just a smart football player. Played a lot of football, came out of a good system, and they say you could tell. Jacquez Robinson is still in the mix at that other free safety. So, I mean, I think the biggest questions that are going to have to be answered defensively are going to be at safety. You know what you got at corner. Rayon Strader made one good play that I heard that's kind of stood out a little bit. So a longer corner is going to allow you to do some certain things. Jay Crawford's been moving around as well. Like, he's been outside. Going up against Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton every day, he had his day. He was able to get some pressure from the defensive line. So Jay Crawford had a great day, from what I'm hearing. Yeah, but those. I think the biggest questions on the team. You got to figure linebacker out, mainly the weak side. You want to get a little depth there. The safety rotation you're gonna have to figure out. I think a lot of that. A lot of those questions get answered when Champ Anthony gets back. I think you're good at running back. You want to see how the offensive line ends up gelling. What do you do with Too Tall when Xavier Chaplin comes back? Is he a swing tackle? I got word that he was probably going to play some guard earlier in the year, but with the injuries, I think the early experiment didn't go as well as they thought it would. Then with the injuries, it was probably your best bet playing out there who had experience. So we'll see what happens once Xavier Chaplin, see how that shakes out. But outside of that, the amount of questions that you had this year versus last year, way different. I mean, and when you look at the talent that Auburn has, top to bottom, offensively, it should be a juggernaut. I mean, quarterback, you got multiple quarterbacks that can play. You really overhauled that quarterback room. So going from Peyton Thorne and Walker White and Holden Garner last year to Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight, Ashton Daniels when he gets there, night and day. You lose a little bit at the running back position because Jarquez Hunter is a one of a kind running back. I wish he would have been able to get the ball more. I hate the way that his career and Tank Bigsby's career ended kind of Auburn. Like, you never really got to see how they would have been in a traditional Auburn offense back in the day. And I thought they had just as much talent as the Ronnie Browns and the Cadillac Williams. Like, I would love to see those guys in those smash mouth offenses, but now and that's no disrespect to those guys. Those are my guys, but they both said those guys could have played in their day. So even if it's not just as much talent, I feel like we would have saw a lot more of them if they got more touches. So I think the running back room is still going to be pretty good this year. I think Damari Austin has taken on the challenge to step up, so that's going to be interesting. And I think the beauty of having to play guys like Braden Joyner again and having to play Too Tall in the spring is you're building that depth that you need for if something does happen along the offensive line. So just looking at where Auburn is, the edge position, like the defense wasn't bad last year. So I think the defense had up front, I think the defense gets better this year. Another year of experience for Keldrick Faulk. He should, I can see 10 sacks. You bring in a guy like Chris Murray, who they say is one of those guys that you want to send off the bus. Another year, Keyron Crawford getting better and honing his skills. So looking forward to what's happening on the Plains. I think next year, I think this fall, excuse me, not next year, this fall. This fall is a telltale sign because people are going to want to. If Deuce Knight gets on that field, I'm telling you, he's probably one of the most popular guys in that class. Like, just everybody loves him. And you hear all the recruits coming to town. They talk about when the recruits come to Auburn, they always talk about Deuce Knight. But whether it's Deuce Knight or whether it's Jackson Arnold, every year we say it. Every year I've said it. I remember even last year, man, they killed me when I said Auburn could finish #1 overall in recruiting. And I was like, they would have to get at least 8 wins. Well, they ain't get close. I did have a caveat. But don't it feel like it's just time for Auburn to have one of those seasons? Like, are Auburn fans not overdue? It's like everything is lining up perfectly. So I think, and I'm hoping this is the season for Auburn. I know in the media you're not supposed to say, oh, he's an Auburn guy. I mean, I cover everybody, but I graduated from Auburn. I saw Auburn in his heyday. Got a lot of buddies, made a lot of memories in Auburn. And college football is better when Auburn is good as a whole. Imagine like the Auburn-Georgia game where it's not a foregone conclusion that Georgia's going to win. It's been a long time since you really felt in that game for real. Even when it was a little tight up to the third quarter this past year, you always felt like Georgia was going to pull away. The year before with Auburn, Georgia, when they won by a very small margin and, they just went Brock Bowers all the way down the field till they couldn't go no more and they win the game. That game still didn't feel like Auburn was going to win. So I think this is the year that Auburn gets over that hump and they're competitive in the majority of those games. They're big games. And I think this is the best Auburn team roster-wise that we've seen probably since Derrick Brown and Marlon Davidson. This roster is loaded. I'm not saying just defensive line, but there are a lot of guys there are more guys that are going to play Sunday football on this roster than we've seen in a long time. I mean, when you look at potential first-round candidates, you could have we'll watch to see how Jay Crawford develops, but usually freshman All-American, they usually do pretty well. But Jay Crawford, Keldrick Falk, Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, Deuce Knight. That's 5 off the top of your – I mean, that's 5 right there. It's been a long time since you've been able to say you got 5 potential first-rounders on an Auburn roster. And that's not even counting some of these other guys like the babies that we haven't even seen yet. So maybe this is the year, and you will hope so. So as the more I get from and yeah, be looking forward to. I have a partnership that I'll be announcing pretty soon with a brand in Auburn that I think is going to be cool, that I think people will enjoy. So, all right, we're going to talk more football. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see me cover any other topic in Auburn, or if you want to talk about something in Auburn, period. If you have a question, drop it in the comments, man. I appreciate your time. I'm out.